Selling your house is usually a complex process, with many parts that have to be in the right place at the right. That process includes preparing your house for listing, taking listing photos, marketing, negotiating, closing the deal, and more. Any misstep along the way can spell disaster. That's why it's important to know what you should do and when, as well as what you shouldn't do. Below, you'll find out about 3 things you should never do before selling your house in San Francisco. Number 1. Price unrealistically. One of the top things you should not do before selling your house in San Francisco is to price it unrealistically. You have to keep firmly in mind that the price you want and the price the market will bear, that is, what buyers will actually be willing to pay, are usually 2 very different things. The most common mistake sellers make is pricing too high. When that happens, buyers will skip over the listing, and the house will sit on the market unsold for a length of time. And when a house sits on the market, buyers will begin to think something is wrong with it. The typical result is that a seller will then have to reduce the price to make a sale, and thus sell below what she could have gotten if she had priced properly from the beginning. Fair market value is the key to pricing accurately for a sale. It will let you know the sweet spot between asking too much and asking too little. Either of these extremes will impede your sale and can ultimately cost you money. The best way to determine fair market value is to have your agent perform a comparative market analysis. Using this method, an agent will look at what several very similar houses in the same neighborhood have recently sold for, as well as factoring in the many other variables that can affect price. This will give you an accurate idea of fair market value, so that you can price accordingly for a sale. You can consult a San Francisco agent to learn more about this by calling 415-830-1423. Number 2. Underestimate the costs of selling. Another thing you should never do, but that many sellers unfortunately do, before selling your house is underestimate the costs of selling. Doing so can deplete your cash reserves, and then you may come up short when it's time to make the down payment and pay closing costs. The total cost of selling your home will amount to much more than your agent's commission. When you factor in repairs, closing costs, and buyer concessions, the total cost of selling will be closer to 10% of the sale price. That's a big chunk of change, and the cost may be even higher. If you have to move before you sell your current home, you may have to rent an apartment or house. And in some cases, for example, when you buy a new home before selling your current one, you could wind up paying the mortgage on 2 homes, as well as the utilities, insurance, taxes, and HOA fees on those homes. So you need to be prepared for these costs. Again, you can find out more by contacting a San Francisco agent at 415-830-1423. Number 3. Neglect curb appeal. Finally, you should never neglect curb appeal before selling your house in San Francisco. This may seem obvious, but sellers do this more often than you'd think. The problem is that it's easy to get so involved in sprucing up the interior of your home and making it shine that you overlook or don't have time for the outside. That, though, is a big mistake. Curb appeal, the appearance of the exterior of the home and the yard, creates that critical first impression when potential buyers first pull up to view your home. An unkempt yard and slash or shabby exterior will immediately put buyers off. What buyers see first will shape their entire impression of and experience of your home. Do choose the right agent for selling your house. These are the top things you should never do before selling your house, but now let's look at one important thing you should do, and that is to work closely with an experienced local San Francisco agent. You need an agent with plenty of experience in and knowledge of the local market, and who has experience selling in your neighborhood and selling homes like yours. Basically, you have to make sure the agent has the knowledge and willingness always to be looking out for your best interests. This typically involves extensive research and intensive agent interviews once you have a short list of possible agents. You can, however, make the process of finding the right agent easier, more efficient, and more effective. All you have to do is work with an agency known for its top-notch agents. So for selling your house in San Francisco, contact us at 415-830-1423.